Hi everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Jardin from Agility and today I'm going to show you how to set up Node.js using Node Version Manager. And before we kick things off, why do we do this? Why do we use Node Version Manager? There are two primary reasons, and the first is related to an Apple operating system, and that is when you install Node.js and NPM directly on an Apple OS, you have a tendency to face administrative issues, forcing you to have to run sudo commands in terminal whenever you want to do an npm install. This doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen at times. And while a sudo command will give you what you need most of the time, there are scenarios that you are going to face. You're going to experience some frustrating hassles trying to get some Node modules installed. By running Node.js through Node Version Manager, pretty much all these issues are eliminated, giving you a much more seamless environment, allowing you to not have to run sudo commands in order to perform npm installs. So Node Version Manager just really does the job there. The second reason is that you might need to run more than one version of Node.js. There are development platforms out there that are designed around Node.js and might force a specific version to be installed. That version might be a little bit outdated. The last thing you want is to be limited by this. So at least with Node Version Manager, you can have this particular version of Node.js installed for that dev platform and still be able to use the latest version for all your other projects. So let's get started. So here I have my Windows 10 environment running, and I've got IE Edge open up with a couple of URLs, a couple of tabs, and the first one is pointing to github.com to a specific project called NVM, which was created by CreationX. Now, this Node Version Manager is the original one that was created, but unfortunately it only exists for Linux and for OS X. It doesn't exist for Windows. So unfortunately we will not be able to use this. But luckily we do have another project on GitHub by the name of NVM Windows that was created by someone else, Corey Butler. So thanks to Corey, we do have a Windows alternative, and it does actually work relatively well. So to install this, let's just go down, and you'll see that there is a link over here to say download the latest installer from the releases. That will open up this window over here. And currently it's 1.1.7, and you can go to the NVM setup. That will be pretty much the best one to download. Once that downloads, I've already done this on my side, you'll see that there's an NVM setup.exe as a result of that download. So I'm going to double click on this. And we can just follow the default options that are given to us. And we can click on finish, and NVM is theoretically installed. We can go to the command prompt. I'm going to type in command over here, and I'm going to right click and run command prompt as administrator. When working with Node.js or any of these commands, always run command prompt as administrator. Okay, so it should be as easy as just saying NVM version, and there we go, 1.1.7. So NVM is installed and running. So now let's get Node.js installed. So the latest stable release, as far as I understand, is version 10.14.2. That was what I saw a few days ago. Could be different, but let's go ahead with that version anyways. So let's go here and we just say NVM install v10.14.2. It's as easy as that. Right, and the installation is complete. Now, I want to just take a moment. I do find at times that the installation process somehow gets stuck at installing npm version, whatever the case may be, and it seems like it's stuck, and the moment I perform a Control-C, suddenly the rest of the prompts come through telling me that the installation is in fact complete. If a certain version of Node.js and npm are not installed within, I would say, worst case 5 minutes, I would then do a Control-C, see if it tells you that everything is completed. If it's not, then just close and reopen the command prompt and give it another go. It will just overwrite. If it did install halfway, it will overwrite everything. So, but in this case, it seems like I'm good to go. Now, we would go ahead and test and say, listen, okay, what's the version of Node, by saying Node-V. Now, it's first going to say Node is not recognized. We have to first state NVM use and the version we want to use. This is a once-off. This is like setting the default. So we say NVM use 10.14.2. Alright, so now if we say node-v, we can see, 10.14.2 is used, and if we say npm-v, we should get the version of npm. There we go, 6.4.1. So everything is good to go. We can even restart terminal, and it will be running this version of Node.js. Okay, before we close this off, there's two Node modules that I highly recommend installing globally and making sure it's constantly updated. The first one is Node.gyp. Gets used by a lot of modules, many modules nowadays, and it's something you should actually just have running globally so that it doesn't have to be reinstalled per project. I would just highly recommend making sure that Node.gyp is installed globally. And the second one is npm check updates. This is a great module because this module can either look at a specific project folder or global modules to determine what are the current versions and if there are in fact updates to those versions. So let's quickly install those now. So I do -g for global, and the first one is node-gyp, and the second one is npm-check updates. There we go. Let's run this. It will take a moment to download and install. And there you go, it's installed. So let's quickly run a test using npm check updates. We do this by just typing in ncu, and if we were in a specific folder and we just wanted to check the package.json for that folder, we would just say ncu and that's that. But we don't have anything at the moment, so we're going to check the global modules. So I'm just going to say space-g for global, and that's going to go and check the global modules to see if there's any updates. Now, because we just installed these two packages, theoretically there shouldn't be updates. And it says over here, all global packages are up to date. So great, we're good to go over there. So that's it for this video. If you've installed everything correctly, you'll be able to run multiple versions of Node.js, and you are free from a lot of these administrative issues or these privileges on the Mac environments that one usually ends up facing from time to time. So I thank everyone for their time. Cheers for now.